the last few generations, I've upgraded to every single iPhone Pro device. It started at the 11 series when I jumped ship from Android. I've had every Pro since the 11. This is the iPhone 13 mini. I bought this phone 90 days ago. I was using a 16 Pro. That phone was too big, too heavy. I wasn't getting $1,000 worth of use out of it. So I sold it, and I found this on Craigslist, OfferUp, one of the sites, Facebook Marketplace. I found it for $200. My main use case for anyone that's new to the channel is basically phone calls, text messages, FaceTime, tap to pay, and navigation. I've been using this as my only cell phone primary device since 90 days. I have a few things I want to say about my experience, and I also want to talk about what am I doing for the upcoming iPhone 17 series. Using this phone has been more positive than negative, but the negative, depending on who you are, might make you not want to have this as your primary device, especially after the past few weeks, what has happened to me. For everyday use, this is probably the best sized phone, the most normal experience you could ask for. It's up to date with the latest software. I haven't had an app that wasn't compatible with this phone. iMessage works, FaceTime works, all the reasons why you would go to Apple in the first place. The cameras are pretty freaking great in my opinion. I've taken hundreds of photos and videos with this camera, even used it as a substitute for my vlogging camera in case I left this camera home, in case I just needed to get a quick clip and didn't have it on me, if this was in a backpack or something. It's very, very good. No complaints. The 13 series when it came out had amazing cameras, and they're still amazing till today, even though it's just the regular and ultra wide lenses. If I'm out and about and don't have my laptop with me, I'll watch YouTube on it. Yeah, it's an OLED screen. It shows very nicely. The screen gets bright enough. It does the banking. It does Amazon. It does Target, Walmart, all the apps that I throw at it. I haven't had any issues. But keep in mind, I'm not playing like Call of Duty Warzone on this phone. I think buying phones for power these days don't even make sense for the most part, because unless you're playing really hardcore games, unless you're trying to get 120 frames per second, it doesn't really make sense to chase the biggest, most powerful phone. For light social media, for posting to YouTube, for taking pictures, this phone is doing absolutely fine. No problems necessarily when opening apps, using apps. But the biggest issue that I've had, especially these past few weeks, is RAM and battery life. This phone basically lives on the phone charger. I have a wireless charger at my desk, a charging cable in my car. It's very rare that my phone isn't being charged. 100% on this device doesn't last very long. Maybe 2 to 3 hours of use and it's done, it's over. For the most part with my use case, it's fine. I put it on my wireless charger before I go to bed. I wake up to 100%. If I'm in the car, it's being connected so I could stream my radio, so I could use the navigation. Very few days, very few instances where I don't need this on the charger. But when I don't, when it's off the charger, it's a little worrisome. I could go replace the battery, which is something I'm probably gonna do, but just something worth mentioning as of right now, the recording of this video. The biggest problem with this phone, and it's gotten actually worse over the past few weeks, and I don't know if it's because of the battery or because of the software update. This was an issue before and it's only gotten worse. This phone cannot hold more than 1 or 2 apps open for background to get back to an app. So when you use the app switcher, like if you're on YouTube and then you open the navigation and you go back to YouTube, sometimes YouTube has to restart. So whatever video you was watching, any progress that you made, you're gonna have to go either to your history and click that video, or you're gonna have to find the video again and fast forward back to that section that you was watching, which sucks because everything else about the phone is so good. The size is perfect. The cameras are great. Most of the experience is flawless. Face ID has never given me an issue. It gets really annoying when you're using one app, you switch to another app, and then can't get back to the first app you was using. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes it will hold the app. But if you leave an app for more than a few seconds and then go back into it, more often than not, it's refreshing the whole app like you just opened the app for the first time. This has become worse ever since I've updated to the iOS 26 beta. Yes, I know it's in beta, but you people need to understand something, okay? It's not just me that has experienced this. Me and my friends, if you do a quick Google search, you'll see that Apple almost got sued about this, or they did get sued, but it was settled. Apple tends to slow down their devices whenever new devices are coming out. I've experienced this with my MacBook, phones, iPod touches, you name it. iOS 26 kind of did a 180. It went back to heavy rendering in comparison to the flat look that Apple went for a few updates back. When this phone shipped, it shipped with a version of iOS that this phone was basically built for. All the new updates constantly are adding new features, new code that tends to slow the phone down a bit. iOS 26 is not just doing that, but it's doing that really, really badly. I can downgrade my phone, I believe, back to whatever I was using, iOS 17, iOS 18. I could very easily go back to that, but whenever new features come out, new emojis, whenever anything comes out new for the phone, if I don't update, I'm just gonna be stuck on that software. And sometimes apps update and don't work on older software versions. For example, I have an older iPhone SE. It's the one that looks like the iPhone 5. I couldn't download Dominoes on it when I was using it as a backup phone until I got this. Not being able to download Dominoes is hilarious. They stopped supporting that software update. This phone has become a little bit of a pain to use. It's slowed down a ton, and the RAM situation is even worse than it was before updating to iOS 26. If you want a smaller iPhone and you don't use it the way, I guess, new generation people use their phones, if you're not gaming, if you're not uploading videos to TikTok every single day, if you're not doing heavy video editing, music editing, photo editing, if you're only using your phone to take pictures, keep in touch with family, browse Instagram, watch a YouTube video, I can't recommend this phone enough. It is, in my opinion, the perfect size, and everything with the phone is amazing. I even prefer the old-fashioned mute switch in comparison to the new customizable button. I like the fact that I could feel this in my pocket and know if my phone's muted or not. If you want the latest and greatest software update, if you want the latest and greatest features, if you don't want to receive a text message with a new emoji and you're not able to see it, which happens a lot when you're behind on software, then the iPhone 13 mini is probably not the best investment right now. The iPhone 17 series is being announced, and then a week after that, the pre-orders begin. I don't know what to do right now. I love the size of this phone. I have no complaints with it besides the battery life and the RAM management. Battery life can be fixed. I think it's like 70, 80 bucks, and they do it at the Apple store. So that's no problem. The problem is, I don't know if my phone is slowing down because of the battery, which again, you could Google, these things happen. Apple slows the devices down to compensate for the weaker battery or whatever. Maybe fixing the battery will fix everything with this phone. If not, I'm going to be using this. It's going to constantly get worse with each new update that comes out. The phone has already gotten from being a really, really great experience to somewhat annoying on a daily, everyday basis. Yeah, it's really disappointing because I wish Apple would just make a new SE this size. But I think they're done with the mini series. The iPhone 17 series is releasing soon. I'm probably going to pre-order it, to the very least just to do a review about it. But I don't know if I'm going to buy that phone and keep it, buy it and give it to my wife. I have no idea. If you asked me this question like 2 months ago, right, when I had this phone for only 30 days, I would have told you no, I am not getting the 17. I am happy with this phone. But this phone has progressively gotten worse and worse over the last 60 days to a point where I don't even know if this phone will be usable in 60 days from now. It might still work at 30, but another 30 after that, not so sure.